1.
4, 3, 2, 1.
The countdown for the latest SpaceX launch may be over, but the one for the start of Donald Trump's explosive second term continues. Standing alongside his new rocket man, Elon Musk, the next US president gazed upwards. The man who said God saved him from an assassin's bullet, now wondering who else should enter his inner orbit when he comes crashing back down to the White House.
This is gonna hurt me a lot worse than it hurts you.
First up, his potential new education secretary, Linda McMahon. The co-founder of World Wrestling Entertainment, her feuds with her 2 children were make-believe. Yet Trump's choice is genuine, part of his plan to lay the smackdown on the Washington world of federal bureaucrats. McMahon is a Trump loyalist, someone to help him try and eliminate the Department of Education itself, because Republicans believe it's become too woke on gender and race matters. She would have to be confirmed by a Republican-controlled Senate, whose members clearly believe Washington is indeed too woke.
Hi, I'm Steve Daines. My pronouns are Republican majority.
Another pick drawing some laughs, Dr. Mehmet Oz, a famous TV doctor who unsuccessfully ran for Senate in 2022 and who interviewed Trump in 2016.
Why not share your medical records?
And who has now passed his own interview to be the nominee for the head of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Both Oz and McMahon represent the Trump trademark, loyalists with little experience in their new departments, but certain to rile the establishment, like his new choice for NATO ambassador, Matt Whitaker, a lawyer with little foreign policy knowledge. Yet Trump's choices are controversial in other ways. Today on Capitol Hill, the House Ethics Committee is meeting amid calls to release a report into Trump's pick for Attorney General, former Congressman Matt Gaetz, following allegations of sexual misconduct, which Gaetz has always denied. Trump was asked whether he was having second thoughts.
Mr. President, are you reconsidering the nomination of Matt Gaetz?
And there are allegations around others. His Defense Secretary nominee, Pete Hegseth, is accused of sexual assault in 2017. He has said the encounter was consensual, but admitted paying the woman as part of a non-disclosure agreement. And going back to Linda McMahon, she's accused in a lawsuit of being aware of the sexual abuse of teenagers at WWE events. Claims her lawyer says are baseless. Trump's allies say he's always been an unconventional politician. But that so many of his loyalists are facing such claims risks creating an image of his outsiders being potentially outside of the law. Yet Trump is his own man, and perhaps even Elon Musk knows that there are limits to even his sway over the president-elect.
Elon Musk!
Musk had hoped that this man, Howard Lutnick, would be the next Treasury Secretary. No dice. He is now instead the nominee to head the US Commerce Department.
Well, I think we can do at least $2 trillion.
Yeah!
Are divisions emerging already? Or is this all part of the jostling for power that Trump enjoys in his quest to go where no president has gone before?
Well, joining us now from Denver, Colorado, is Heidi Ganahl, who was the Republican candidate in Colorado's 2022 election for governor and is a big Trump fan. Heidi Ganahl, what message do you take from these cabinet posts? Because they're obviously, they are not experts in the fields in which they've been appointed, but they are disruptors and they're big Trump fans.
Well, I believe that the Americans voted in a big way to disrupt the status quo in Washington, D.C., and that's exactly what we're getting with these picks. I spoke to Rasmussen Polling this morning, and Mark Mitchell, who's the lead pollster there, said that they've been looking at this, and 80% of conservatives across America agree that these cabinet picks are good. It's exactly what they want. They want him to go in and just reconfigure Washington, D.C., and he needs people that are willing to take the heat.
Do you worry at all about Matt Gaetz and the allegations against him and what that report might say? I mean, does it matter what that report says?
At this point, Republicans and conservatives are so used to being accused of everything under the sun that we take it with a grain of salt. Lawfare has been the name of the game for the past few years with the other administration. And so we've gotten to the point where it's the boy who cries wolf. It's like, what is true? I don't know, but I trust our president, our incoming president, Donald Trump, to make the right decision to get the job done.
Right, but this is not a partisan committee. I mean, it's got Republicans on it as well. Do you regard them as equally within the establishment, and you don't believe them?
I think that we've got a problem with trust in DC. One of the other things the pollster told me this morning was that a big issue in the swing states wasn't even necessarily the specific candidates. It was this distrust of the federal government. And we feel, as Americans, many Americans feel like we've been lied to, and that the government has grown far too big, far too powerful, and we've got to pull that in, to rein it in. In America, we love free markets, we love free speech, we love free enterprise, we like to be left alone. That's the way we roll. And that's where I believe voters in just this last election said, enough is enough. We want our freedoms back, and we want to be able to run our lives the way we like.
But do you not worry that some of these people just won't be able to do what you expect of them? I mean, what quite often happens in big bureaucracies is that you put somebody in who doesn't know how it works, and the senior people in that bureaucracy run rings around them, and they don't really achieve what they're trying to achieve. I mean, if you put Dr. Oz in charge of Medicaid and Medicare, I mean, he's not really qualified to run that place. Do you think he'll know enough to actually reform it?
Well, as someone who helped lead a $5 billion university system in Colorado, I was on the Regent Board, which is a statewide elected office. Most of the people in administrative roles or the higher bureaucracy roles, they don't have experience doing that exact job, but they may have good experience being leaders or being disruptors or getting the job done, which is what we want right now. And I think Trump learned a lot in his first term in 2016 about how not to do things. And I think it's interesting to think about what would have happened if Trump had won in 2020. I don't think we would be seeing the disruption that we're seeing now. We wouldn't have had the allies that he does now with Elon Musk and Robert Kennedy Jr. and Vivek and Tulsi. A lot of Democrats are surrounding him that have come around to his way of thinking. I think it's going to be a very interesting time in American history to see how this plays out.
That is certainly true. No one's going to argue with that. Heidi Ganahl, thank you very much indeed.